Hi there, folks. Welcome back to Greenlit Flicks. My name is Gage.
And I'm Zack.
And today we are going to be doing a recap of the Oscars. But first, I would like to talk to Zack a little bit, try to let you guys get to know him a bit. He has done a lot of really cool, really big things. Like, starting off, your feature was on Ellen? Is that correct?
Well, yeah, I used to be involved with a UNT Short Film Club, and we had a competition where we had to make a shot-for-shot remake of a moment from a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I chose to do Finding Nemo, and I got to get my friends to dress up like Marlin and Dory, and I had my talented makeup artist friend Kylie McLaughlin do some stellar face paint work to the point where it looked eerily creepy, but it still looks fantastic, and it managed to get on Ellen.
Yeah.
She looked a little freaked out by it, but that's incredibly complimenting.
Hey,
the attention.
Any reaction is a good reaction, you know?
That's right, yeah.
So, yeah, go ahead and talk, man. Talk about what you do, because you, here, at least around here, you've become very popular based on a lot of the skits you've been doing here at Disney and things like that. So go ahead and talk about, I don't know if you would like to call it a career or however you would like to describe your activities, but mic is yours.
Oh, well, thank you. It's a hobby right now. I've always loved making little videos ever since I was in high school, and during college I became associated a lot with, or I worked a lot with UNT Short Film Club, where a whole bunch of just students from Denton would be able to collaborate and make things together. So I was an AP on a lot of them. I did a lot of production design, and I even wrote a few scripts and directed a little bit, even acted a little bit.
Okay.
So ever since I graduated, I came here to work for Disney, and I thought it was a good opportunity to start making like little videos, little vignettes, if you will.
Yeah.
And the one that got really popular was this one I did for Valentine's Day. I've had this idea for a long time, which is basically like going through all the single rider lines during Valentine's Day, and that could be a funny Twitter post even.
Mm.
But I thought it would be even better if I did it in a quick video, kind of like a Vine.
Yeah.
Very much Vine-like, and set it to Earth, Wind, and Fire's September.
Yeah.
And it ended up like blowing up in terms of Facebook, because last time I checked it has like 100,000 views.
Yeah, you blew up really quickly, because I remember Gigi and I saw that you posted that, and we were dying. And next time I see it, you're at well over 60,000. I'm like, it's only been a day.
It struck a chord with a lot of people, and that really touched me. I was very flattered.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that was honestly incredible. Your YouTube channel, you have a lot of very popular videos.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you make these ideas up in your head, and then, like, so you think of all these things, and then you actually go about doing it? How I go, like, don't reveal any of your trade secrets or anything, but what makes you consider doing these sketches or vignettes, as you said?
I'm very influenced by The Lonely Island in terms of their SNL era, whenever they would make digital shorts, just very quick. They're very stylized, and I like their camera movements in general, and their editing styles. Like, it's very nuanced in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And I always, like, even if it's going to be like short skit, I always want to implement some kind of visual flair to it. Like, I don't want to, even with one I made recently, like, it's just two people standing in a store and talking to each other, but like I still want to do some sort of camera dynamic or music choice or zoom in, like crash zoom, because there's always something that like could make a joke even funnier whenever told visually, and that's what film is for. It's a visual medium. Yeah,
your most recent video that I saw was the Hidden Mickey video, and I don't think I've related to anything anymore, because once you start working at Disney, you see anytime there's 3 circles, it's a hidden Mickey, you know, like, and it was you and your friend who did the cereal thing where those Fruit Loops or whatever, and they were all in Mickey shapes, like you place them very. How did you go about doing that one? Did you have to actually like place them very specifically in there, or because it looked like a lot of effort took it, like just into that one bowl shot.
Oh yeah. Like the shot you see for literally, if you could like add it up, it's like maybe 6 seconds in the entire video, but it was so worth it. What I ended up doing was I ended up getting some crazy glue from Walgreens.
Okay.
and it had Fruit Loops. Like that's where the original idea came from. I was originally going to do Cheerios, but if you put Cheerios together, they don't stick out as much as opposed to if you have Fruit Loops, you have so many different colors, like to kind of separate them and make them look more extravagant. That took an hour to do 21 hidden Mickeys in the cereal.
21 hidden Mickeys.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most. That's more hidden Mickeys than any other attraction. I'm pretty sure.
That's true. Take that, Joe Rohde.
Yeah, Rohde. Yeah, the earring guy.
Yeah, I'm calling you out right now. If you're listening to this.
Yeah, he. Apparently this Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is supposed to be the most hidden Mickeys, but how do you go about doing that? Because it's actually Mickey.
Yeah, I feel like you're kind of cheating at that point. Yeah, I made that video with Kyle Palo. He also does vlogs, by the way. You should go look him up if you can, whoever's listening. That's a plug for my roommate, Kyle. He's really cool.
There you go, Kyle. Got the plug in there. So yeah, it's not only the Finding Nemo shot by shot, but you've actually done quite a few like shot by shot reenactments, haven't you, or recreations? So, well, I pull it up here. What made you, whenever you did the the Finding Nemo one, I assume that was your first one.
Oh no, the first one was Toy Story 2, actually.
Oh yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So, did you just watch the movie and you're like, I'll do that? Or, like, with some of the sketches, it's a very short beat thing. This, you have to go in depth on the design of everything. So what made you decide to do, so you did Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo, and then Toy Story 2. Mm-hmm. So what part of that made you decide doing this, going all in?
Well, like I said, these were done for short film club competitions.
Yeah.
They were shot-for-shot remakes, and the first competition was with Toy Story 2, and during that time, whenever the challenge was first announced, a lot of people's go-to was to do Pineapple Express or the movie, I think it was Lock with Tom Hardy in the car. Mm-hmm. Very simple things you could, film just with anybody. They look like normal people, and it's very average settings in a living room or in a car, just simple, quick and easy things. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to go a little bit farther with that, take it a little step further, and do animated film, because I thought that would stand out among all the other entries that would compete in it.
Yeah.
And then I thought, okay, so I'm going to do an animated film. I'm going to do Pixar movies because they have a special place in my heart, growing up with them.
Of course.
And then I want to take it one step further, because I wanted to make them exclusively sad moments, mm-hmm. because I knew we didn't have any money whenever we were making these, so they were going to look cheap. I was influenced by the movie Be Kind, Rewind, which is one of my favorite movies, so automatically they were going to look ridiculous.
Yeah.
I knew that off the bat. So I wanted to make them the saddest moments from these movies. That way, emotionally, when you watch it, it's it still hits you in the feels, but whenever you're watching it, it looks so absurd and ridiculous, mm-hmm. that you have this conflicted emotion where you're not sure how to feel, and that's pretty much the reaction that I've gotten with every single one of them, and I love that.
Yeah.
It's so fulfilling to have people appreciate that and still feel a bit conflicted about it. So it's awesome.
I know because Gigi mentioned to me, this was before I had met you, because we met at Epcot watching the International Festival of the Arts stuff. Mm-hmm. She mentioned this Finding Nemo thing, and I had never heard about it before. She was like, it was on Ellen's and yada yada. So I go and watch this, and I'm just like, who in the world thinks of something like that, where you have your actors put their hands up for the fins, and I mean the makeup looks fantastic, because it's just straight face, and I really dig what you've done with that. Now, and that's not even the one with the most views. The Monsters Inc. one mm-hmm. has more than double. Like if you combine your other two, it's double both of those. So by far, Monsters Inc. is your most popular attraction here. I can now we can see that there's a lot of, in terms of design, you have a full Sully costume going on there.
Yes.
And did you just how difficult was it to design that room and everything?
Well, I'm very meticulous about everything because I look at all the details. I want to make sure that even if there's a drawing of a little duck in Boo's room at that moment, I want to make sure that it looks correctly. And what's even funnier about this Monsters Inc. one is that the room by my good friend Christian, we were using his room because that was the closest we could get in a certain amount of time, and his room is actually different than the scene of the movie because we needed a door that would open, a door handle on the left. That way you could swing out to your right.
Yes.
But his room is designed differently, so it opens the opposite way of the movie. So in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm going to download this clip again from Monsters Inc., reverse it, and then shoot everything in reverse, flip the image in post. So everything was kind of backwards for whenever we were shooting the Monsters Inc. That way we could match it precisely with the movie scene.
Wow, that's quite a bit. But I mean, obviously it paid off. You're getting, obviously from being on Ellen's and all these views that you have right here, that's a lot of recognition, and that to me, and people still talk about it. Obviously, I mean the Nemo one was from 2 years ago, and here we are talking about it, and so I think they're fantastic. They're definitely unique. The most interesting thing I've seen, like I said, just watching the individual playing Dory doing the whole full on with her hands as the fins.
Tierney Connolly and Alex Wiggins. They're the actors in all three of them. They're very good friends of mine, and they're very committed. I approach them with it's interesting each time they were more game for it. I could tell, okay, Alex definitely, my buddy I've known since, freshman year of college. He was okay, I'm going to be Jesse. This is the thing. And I guess Tierney, I gave her a smaller role as, the normal girl. And, she did it fine. But, whenever I came up to them and said, okay, you're going to be Marlon and Dory, they were yes, we're game for this. Let's go.
Let's be as method as possible.
Oh, my God, I love them.
Well, obviously we commend you. That is fantastic. I'm personally am a big fan of a lot of your stuff. The great granddaughter from year 3000 is the first skit I think I saw from you, and that was hilarious. And then you mentioned Valentine's Day, and we talked about the hen Mickeys. So that you got a fan in me. You want to start talking about the Oscars now?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to start off with probably this one meant a lot to me. I literally screamed and shouted whenever this happened because I was so excited. So we're going to start with writing original screenplay.
Yes.
Nominations were The Big Sick, Lady Bird, Shape of Water, 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri, and the winner was Get Out.
Yes.
So, how do you feel about that?
I was over the moon with this. I feel so happy for Jordan Peele. He definitely deserved this. This is the best crafted screenplay in terms of writing and storytelling and twists and turns and dialogue that you can make out of your characters. It's almost a practically perfect screenplay.
Yeah.
So it was completely deserved. I'm glad that the co-writer of Keanu is now a Oscar-winning screenwriter.
Yeah, right. The guy who did Key and Peele is now on the Comedy Central, is now an Oscar winner for Best Writing, and I think it's very well deserved. I really want to actually download this script, read it through, and kind of study how he his formula, how he made this incredible piece, because it's the subtle things with this movie that really catch your attention. And what he did was just phenomenal. He was my favorite out of this group. Lady Bird was fantastic. All these movies were great.
All the scripts were perfect.
I never saw The Big Sick.
The Big Sick is amazing. You definitely need to check it out.
Yeah. I keep hearing that. And it's one that I'll have to get to now that the season is over. But, you know, all these scripts were written very well, and I think this is a very well-deserved Oscar. I called it during our predictions episode. I said that Get Out needs to win, and I'm thankful that it did. Yeah.
I ended up predicting that it would go to 3 Billboards, but
yeah?
I'm glad I was wrong with that.
Yeah.
Because while 3 Billboards, I like the movie. I think that Get Out is a much more satisfying win.
Yes. Yeah. I mean all these movies are drastically different. And that's the theme through a lot of these categories is so many different ideas and genres are thrown in here to where, you know, they're the best of their own kind. You know what I mean? Like with this Big Sick, best comedy, Get Out, best thriller.
Horror, yeah, psychological.
Lady Bird, best coming of age, Shape of Water, fantasy, which has horror aspects in there because Del Toro just does horror well. And then 3 Billboards, biopic type thing.
Just drama.
Yeah, just very much, very deep drama. Now, moving on to writing adapted screenplay, the nominees were Mudbound, Molly's Game, Logan, The Disaster Artist, and the winner was Call Me By Your Name. And this is another one. I wanted Logan to win. I'm not upset with Call Me By Your Name winning. I still, that's one I have yet to see because the amount of movies that have come out here recently. But, you know, it's... I can't be upset with that one winning because of the amount of stuff I've heard about it. Have you? You brought up earlier off air, obviously, that the winner was like 89 years old.
Oh yeah, he's up there in terms of age. I'm gonna clarify real quick, like to just to get like right. I don't want to name the yeah. Trying to stall. I'm not so very good at stalling for time, but yeah, James Ivory, who wrote it, he's 89. Yeah, so
that's insane. That is, I mean, whenever he walked up on the stage, he was with a cane, and he had to sit his Oscar down, and that's crazy because you know.
It can even happen. It can even happen when you're 89. Yeah. Like, just don't stop doing what you're doing because it can even get you whenever you're up there in age.
Well, like. He was the oldest nominee for any category, I want to say. I don't quote me on that. But and then Timothée Chalamet was like the youngest in 80 years, I think, is what they said. So very wide spectrum here at the Oscars. Not much more to say about the adapted screenplay. I think that it was again another very tough category that had a lot of diversity and variety in there.
This is the only nomination that the Disaster Artist got tonight or that night as well.
Yeah, it was. I like the Disaster Artist. I don't think it really was on the level of every other movie.
That's a good point.
Now in turn, I don't like The Post, so I would have been fine taking The Post out, putting something else in there. Maybe not the Disaster Artist. Yeah, Florida Project, definitely.
Oh my god.
Because. And that's something we'll get to later. Willem Dafoe's performance in that alone should have been enough to carry it, along with the child actors and everything. It was a very, very well done movie. But we'll get to that when the time comes. So the next category is visual effects. So we have War for the Planet of the Apes, Star Wars The Last Jedi, Kong Skull Island, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and the winner was Blade Runner 2049. I thought that Star Wars was going to take this one.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it because, like, practical effects mixed with CGI?
Yeah, there's just how well they mix the two in that movie. Pardon me, what was the planet, the moon that they were on? Salt.
Salt planet, yeah.
That planet alone was just so visually stunning to me, and that would have been the thing if they were to use it. I don't remember what they used to show, because every time they announce a nominee, they show a little clip from the movie. I don't remember what they announced for that one, but I think that movie was my favorite in terms of visual effects. Obviously, Blade Runner 2049 was insane. How pretty it was. But I basically was okay with any of these winning that wasn't named Kong Skull Island.
Yeah, I can see that. I really wanted War of the Planet of the Apes to win, but I haven't seen Blade Runner 2049. From the commercials, though, it looks visually stunning, so I completely understand why it was chosen to win, but still, none of the Planet of the Apes movies, to my knowledge...
They haven't won anything.
No.
That's insulting.
They look so lifelike. We've come so far from the makeup, which for its time was good for Planet of the Apes movies, but like...
Right, back in the... what was that, Tim Burton that did the...
No, like even the Charlton Heston ones from like the 70s.
Yeah.
We've come so far from them. And for motion capture to look that good, where you get movies like The Polar Express or Beowulf, in terms of like what you can do with motion capture now to make it look like it's going further in the uncanny valley of just looking so lifelike.
Yeah, and I think Andy Serkis needs to get like an honorary Oscar eventually for his stuff, because I feel like he's never considered because it is motion capture, and that's not really fair to him, because Serkis puts on performance after performance that is just fantastic in these Apes movies, let alone what he did in the Black Panther movie and everything else, and Lord of the Rings, so on and so forth.
Star
Wars, even though, so you get the best guy in motion capture and you just have him sit there. That's whatever. Anyway,
Are you looking forward to his Mowgli movie?
Yes, but
I don't know. I need to see some footage first.
Based on what I saw, it had a good cast and all that, but we just did this,
You're right. It's too fresh in people's minds, and it already won the other Best Visual Effects award for really good effects, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, and I wasn't the biggest fan of the Jungle Book remake, because I just feel like a lot of these things are unnecessary, and whenever you get told that they're doing these live action remakes and they say they're going to do a live action Lion King remake, that's not going to be live action.
Yeah, it's going to be computer generated.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just a different style of animation. It's not actually live action. Maybe mocap, but...
Yeah. Of all the Disney remakes, Jungle Book's been my favorite so far, because like I feel like enough has gone by since like 1967, whenever the Jungle Book came out, that you can update the story just a little bit, but like... I think that they improved the Jungle Book way far more than it like needed to be, and I enjoyed it more than I guess Cinderella, Maleficent, Beauty and the Beast. Like they're all fine movies.
I hated Beauty and the Beast. I really did. It was the whenever we get to production design, which I'm not sure what is next. It's going to be a while until we get to that, but. I think that the production design of Beauty and the Beast was fine. I think it looked pretty, but the acting wasn't good. The visual effects in terms of like the mocap on the Beast, it's already outdated, and it's only been a year. So I have a lot of negative things to say about that, but it's, I think that they'll continue improving. I enjoyed the Cinderella remake. They definitely changed the story enough to where I cared about it a bit more.
Still not as good as Cinderella 3: A Twist in Time, though.
Oh, never. And let's not forget the Cinderella story with Lizzie McGuire.
Which was also nominated for Best Production Design.
Was it really?
No.
I was about to say, I wouldn't put it behind them, but...
what's her name? Jennifer Coolidge should have been nominated for Best Supporting Actress, though, because she's great in the movie. She's good in a lot of things.
Yeah.
Too. Jennifer Coolidge. Stifler's mom.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Man, that takes me back to high school, talking about Stifler and American
which
Pie.
were snubbed from the Oscars, clearly, for
Yes.
Best Original...
screenplay, best picture. Let's just be honest.
Best dad. I feel like Eugene Levy looks the most like everybody's dad. That's why they keep casting him in like dad parts, like Cheaper by the Dozen too. And
he was also in... he was the principal in... New York Minute with the...
The Olsen twins?
Yes!
Yeah.
But, anyway...
You veered off so much. I apologize.
No, we're good. So, The next two categories, we're just going to mix them. No pun
We're
intended.
gonna mix them.
No pun intended. I did not mean for that to happen. So, sound mixing and sound editing. So, the nominees were Baby Driver, Blade Runner 2049, The Shape of Water, Star Wars The Last Jedi, and the winner was Dunkirk in a highway robbery. Double the pun.
I don't know. I've only seen like 30 minutes of Dunkirk, but like it feels all right. Like there's a lot of ticking noises. Like you just hear the, and I'm like, all right. It's a war movie. You hear gunshots. You hear everything everywhere. So, but Baby Driver. You know what? I can excuse sound mixing for Dunkirk, but like sound editing, where you're supposed to put specific sounds on certain like beats and make it synchronized with like the actual score and the action shown on the movie. I think that did it so perfectly.
It's a crime because the Baby Driver is literally just a musical on wheels, and everything was done with such precision, and it had to be. I was sitting there whenever I first watched this. I'm like, this has got to win the Oscars for that. I feel like that's the snub of the night for me. It's probably the snub of the night.
Yeah. It felt like one of those, like, you know how you always see like those montages at the end of the year when they're like best of 20 and there's like a song and like it synchronizes with like the visual with the edit on certain things. Baby Driver felt like one that just went on for 2 hours. Yeah. And it went amazing.
Yeah, it was a very well done movie in terms of its editing and sound editing. It just I love Baby Driver. It's Edgar Wright is a genius. But
I'll agree.
It's that sucked. That really. Whenever I heard that, I was listening to it on my phone. I was watching it on my phone. I just took out my headphones and sat it down. I was frustrated because that's the entire movie. That's its entire shtick. You know, I was not happy about that. Now,
I can understand where they're coming from because I think Hacksaw Ridge won the same like accolades whenever it was nominated in 2014, 15, something like that.
Yeah. I don't remember how
they
old
go
that
for
movie
like war movies in terms of sound editing,
and that's fine. I don't know. I feel like the voters, would just looked at Baby Driver and they were like, oh, well, that's not an Oscar movie, and then just dismissed it.
That could be true too.
Because I heard there was a lot of that issue with Get Out for Best Picture. There was I think it was IndieWire. They came out and reported that somebody said that a lot of the voters they've talked to didn't even watch Get Out, at least for the Best Picture part of it. And I was just like, how do you not? You know?
For this past weekend, I was looking forward to getting surprised by Get Out winning Best Picture, which we'll get to that later. But the other day we had the Independent Spirit Awards, and that took home Best Picture. And for the past couple of years, the prize to take home that, which is like Moonlight and what won the year before that? It was
before Moonlight was Spotlight.
Spotlight and Birdman,
yes,
all films that also won the same award as the Independent Spirit Award. So like when Get Out won, it kind of made me turn my head and said we could be surprised that night. But
and I think that Jordan Peele has got to be proud of his accomplishments from this movie, from the Oscar that he won to the multiple Golden Globes and the what else was there? Multiple smaller ones like Critics' Choice and like you said, Spirit, and there's even smaller ones than that that we could go on forever. Like all the awards that he's taken home for Get Out, I think that he's got to be proud even if he didn't win Best Picture. I think that it would have been well deserved, but that's again something we'll get to later. But let's talk about the production design category now.
All right.
Actually, no. Let's actually go back a step. You wanted to talk about Dear Basketball.
Yes, I did.
So, go
Dear
ahead.
Basketball is a monumentous feat, not only because Kobe Bryant became the first NBA player to win an Academy Award.
Yes.
Yeah, which should have gone to Michael Jordan back
for Space Jam,
for Space Jam in 1997. But what I found interesting about this one primarily was the fact that it was directed by Glenn Keane, and Glenn Keane was an animator during the Disney Renaissance of the 90s. He helped create the design for Ariel from The Little Mermaid. He created the Beast from Beauty and the Beast, Tarzan from Tarzan. These are like self-explanatory, but
Right.
still, like, he was one of the main people in charge of the character designs, and he's kind of been an unsung hero for Disney. So for him to finally win an Academy Award, that's, in terms of like my animation side, that's very mind-blowing for me, and I'm very glad to see him get like what he deserves.
Now, I think they said while they were talking about, whenever they accepted the award, that John Williams did the music for this. So that's, it's not like they didn't have a great team there, Well, I liked Lou, which is the only other one I saw out of this category.
And that was from the beginning of Cars 3.
Yes. And I thought that was very well done. I need to go see Dear Basketball, or find it somewhere. It's a short film in the animated category. I would assume it wouldn't be too hard to find, but just the two people that we just mentioned, not Kobe Bryant, but
Regardless, it's like a dream team.
Yeah, you got
like
a great team there, and it really, that's what put it over.
Definitely.
But to the production design now, we had the nominees: Beauty and the Beast, Blade Runner 2049, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, and The Shape of Water took it home.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why The Darkest Hour was nominated. It looked like, I've only seen the trailer, but it looks like a documentary that you see on A&E or the History Channel.
It had a really weird look to it.
Looks
I
like
would agree.
Standard, just like old.
Well, they spent their whole budget on Gary Oldman's face.
Oh, of course.
But,
Oh
I mean, Shape of Water had a beautiful, overall design to it. I mean, it looked really good. The facilities, the homes.
The cars, the whole, 60s look. It gave me a new appreciation for the color green, because that color is everywhere in that movie.
It is splattered. Yeah, it's just and just on the... the monster himself, he has 50 shades of green on him.
50 Shades of Green?
Well, that...
okay.
Spoilers for the movie.
Would 50 Shades of Grey be darker if it was a sea monster?
I think it'd be more appealing if it was a sea monster.
Look, you know what happens when you put sea monsters in your movies? They win Best Picture.
Yeah, exactly. 50 Shades of Grey, while it has a monster in Christian Grey, it doesn't...
It would be more on the nose metaphor.
Yeah.
And then you'd get film scholars and they're like, wow, this is deep.
Now all we gotta do is make her a mute.
See? This sounds like a better movie.
I know. It's almost like it just won Best Picture.
Spoilers.
All right, so for the music, we have Best Original Song. Now, this one was a little bit more controversial, but I'm going to get into why I think this is the better pick. So the nominees were Mighty River from Mudbound, Mystery of Love from Call Me By Your Name, Stand Up for Something from Marshall, This Is Me from The Greatest Showman, and the winner was Remember Me from Coco.
Woo!
Hi!
That's great, though.
In terms of film, in terms of how the music affected the film, Remember Me, that song is gonna be no pun intended. It's gonna be remembered for it, and it's for this film. It is everything, from Grandma Coco to Hector and to Miguel and Ernesto de la Cruz. Mm-hmm. This song encapsulates it is the movie. Mm-hmm. Whereas This Is Me, that was the one people felt like was snubbed. Make a better movie. That's my thing.
Okay,
but
I agree with that. My argument with this is that This Is Me sounds like a generic pop anthem that you'd hear from Pink.
Kesha remade it.
Like Kesha or Pink or literally anybody. The fact that you good?
Yep.
Okay. The fact that it's a very broad sense. It's very empowerful. I just think it sounds like something you'd hear on the radio. Whereas Remember Me is played 3 times during Coco, and each time has a significance and new reveal for the plot, and it gives the song an entirely new meaning each time it's played. And for it to be like that, like well crafted and placed in a film for like in terms of storytelling, that's done like perfectly. And kudos to Robert Lopez and Kristen Anderson Lopez, who wrote a lot of songs for Frozen, the Winnie the Pooh movie, and he actually became a double EGOT.
Yes. I mean, congrats. I mean, that's insane to think about. But yeah, like you said, Remember Me is it's riddled throughout this movie, and you know, it's so popular that it becomes kind of a joke during whenever they're Miguel's like, oh, I'm gonna play Remember Me, and Hector's like, no. Everybody does that.
Yes.
And so it's just like you just hear snippets of it. You actually don't hear the song again until much later. And it was so beautifully crafted and placed throughout this movie. I mean, I can't say enough good things about it. So This Is Me, fine song. I love the Greatest Showman soundtrack. The movie sucked.
It is a good soundtrack. I'll give it that.
I just if you wanted to like, This Is Me.
Are we talking about like how we could have fixed The Greatest Showman?
There's plenty of ways. Like make a good script. Have a consistent plot. Don't call him P.T. Barnum. Multiple things.
Yes. Make it about the sideshow people.
Yes. Yeah. Like that was the point, and like. I appreciate that Hugh Jackman. You can't turn Hugh Jackman into a villain, okay?
Well, they did that in Pan, and look how that turned out.
Yeah, it bombed, and so did this movie.
No, this one was a modest hit.
It made plenty of money. It just critically was
not
destroyed.
Too favorable.
Audience loved it though. My Facebook feed, they're blowing up like, why didn't This Is Me win? Blah blah blah. I'm just like, seriously.
Well, for one reason, the singer, who's like super talented, she's in the musical Waitress, and she's great in that. She didn't wear a wig. I feel like that would have been like would have been a nice touch.
Yeah,
like, put the wig on. Yeah,
dive in, you know. But anyway, we can move on to the original score now. So the nominees were Dunkirk, Phantom Thread, Star Wars: The Last Jedi, duh, and Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Now the winner was The Shape of Water. Yeah, Alexander Desplat, he did his thing. It was a good soundtrack. Score. I don't really have much else to say about that. John Williams will always get nominated. I don't think he cares about winning anymore at this point. He's won enough.
That's true. I can see that.
I haven't seen Phantom Thread, so I don't know about that one. I think the score in Three Billboards is more prominent than one would think.
It's been a while since I've seen Three Billboards, and at the moment I can remember certain key moments when like the score did come into play, but like it's kind of like drifting from my head right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's there at the right time, and you know, but Shape of Water. Think of that opening sequence whenever it's the dream. You know, it's that will be enough. So.
Like that, whenever the movie began and like it's showing like the water and her dreaming and the score is playing and you see the title "The Shape of Water" come up. Like I saw it at a very late showing and I just felt very cozy.
Yeah.
Like it was cold outside the theater and I was in my coat and I was like curling up in my movie theater seat and I'm like, wow, I can't wait for this lovely movie to precede me. And I was right. I really love The Shape of Water.
Yeah, that dream sequence. That's what made the Oscar win happen.
You think so?
That was just so. It was gorgeous. It was
so classic Hollywood.
Yeah, and that's what I think. Over time, I'm gonna give it more time. I still don't think it was my favorite movie of the year, but I think that will make it an all-time classic type deal. It might slide into that category, but. We'll see. Now, makeup and hairstyling. I don't have much to say about this. The winner was Darkest Hour. Victoria and Abdul and Wonder were also nominated. But you brought up a good point earlier today.
Yeah, why wasn't Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 nominated?
Like, yeah.
Yeah, okay, there's an entire race of alien people. Their name is slipping me right now, but everybody is like painted in like this kind of golden, like yellow makeup.
Mm-hmm.
And then not only that, you have Michael Rooker, who once again, and then Dave Bautista, who's
Yeah.
oh my gosh,
He's Drax the Destroyer.
Mm-hmm. And then just you have makeup everywhere, especially Taserface. Like I can imagine that like takes some time to apply, and just because it is a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, it shouldn't like exclude it because Suicide Squad won last year,
And it was awful makeup.
exactly.
Like I appreciated the Croc looked like the Killer Croc from Suicide Squad. It looked like they did the top like shoulders up, and then they gave up from the rest of from there to down. And what else? What other kind of makeup were we really dealing with?
We got Harley Quinn.
Oh man, every girl in Halloween was doing that same makeup,
Oh,
and same with the Joker, same with not El Diablo, but like
The Enchantress, I guess. I don't know.
And even then, I just think like better movies. And
it clearly went to The Dark Star, which I have still yet to see. But
you've seen Gary Oldman, and that's all you got to see.
Exactly. They made him look like Winston Churchill, so good for them. I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
And didn't that dude end up winning an award? Or we'll get to that later. Of course he won an award. He won an Oscar.
Yeah. So we can skip to film editing. Film editing, yes. Yeah. So for film editing, the nominees were Baby Driver, I, Tonya, The Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards. The winner was Dunkirk. I also wasn't a big fan of this one. Now it's a war movie, so this is like the Oscar pick type thing. Like what traditionally they do. But Baby Driver, I, Tonya, both had fantastic editing.
I still need to get around to seeing I, Tonya.
Have you seen The Office? Yes, of course you have.
I have.
It's the same kind of editing. It's that style where, and I really dig it. They cut at the right times. They focus on the right things at the right times. And so how they edited it, I really enjoyed it. But Baby Driver, again, I think Baby Driver got snubbed harder than anybody else here at the Oscars. But maybe besides Lady Bird, because Lady Bird didn't take anything home either.
I have one award that I think it should have took home, but I'll get to that in a second. I'm just glad an Edgar Wright movie got nominated for an Oscar, let alone multiple Oscars, where it's like his strong suit, his editing style is like one of his greatest qualities.
Yeah. One day he'll catch that win if he's actually interested in it. I'm not sure how he is as a person. I know a lot of these Hollywood guys just could not care less.
It's like you learn from Coco too.
Yeah.
One of the primary themes of Coco. But I still haven't seen Dunkirk. Or I saw the first 30 minutes of Dunkirk, and then I had to go to work.
Yeah.
From what I saw, it was turning into a good movie, but I've heard a lot of people dog on it recently.
I think it was just like, how do I put this? It seemed like it was the easy route for Nolan, and that's not the way anybody wants to see Nolan go, because he's always stuck to his guns, and he still does in this movie, but it's not quite to the same effect. Like you look at The Dark Knight, you look at Inception or Interstellar, they all have their very different styles, but they're all very much the same. Whereas this one, I guess it just didn't flow the way that people wanted it to. It also doesn't help that they took one segment, another segment, and a third segment, apparently all going on at the same time, and I don't know. But anyway, directing.
Directing, yes.
So the nominees were Dunkirk, Get Out, Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, and The Shape of Water, or as Emma Stone said it, 4 Men and Greta Gerwig.
Wow, that was a deep cut, but Emma was able to pull it off.
Yeah, I mean,
it's true.
People cheered for it, but the internet did not cheer for it. That is what it is. I mean, what else did she guys say? The Five Guys? No, it's not Five Guys.
Yeah, wait. Who did that? Was it at the Golden Globes? Whenever there were all these white male nominees or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember who did it.
Oh, I can't. I think it was Natalie Portman and Ron Howard were presenting.
Yes, it was Natalie Portman. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching that. So yeah, Shape of Water took it home. Well, Guillermo del Toro took it home. People felt like Martin McDonagh was was snubbed in this directing area because they felt like he should have been nominated, but I mean, you can't really take Paul Thomas Anderson out or Greta Gerwig or Jordan Peele or Christopher Nolan. Like, all of them deserve to be in there.
Literally, if anybody won for directing, I would have been satisfied.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That being said, I think, I've never been a fan of Del Toro. I've gone on record and said I still haven't seen Pan's Labyrinth. Will soon, but with... I don't know. I was really pushing for Lady Bird to win this one or to win Best Picture, or Greta Gerwig to win this one, and then Lady Bird later on. But Del Toro still did an excellent job with this movie. So I mean, you can't. I'm not saying that was a snub by any means. Like you said, anybody could have won. Been perfectly fine with it.
Yeah, I would have loved to seen Greta Gerwig have her moment. Mm-hmm. Like, especially for, like, her first... This is her directorial debut, correct?
Yes. Maybe. I think so. I think it's both hers and Peele's.
Yeah, it's definitely Peele's. And at least Peele got the writing, but the fact that, like, Greta Gerwig, like, she put so much heart and soul into this film, and it definitely shows this is a personal story for her. Being from Sacramento, like Lady Bird, the title character, but she knocked it out of the park after just like being known as an actress.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I think she did a fantastic job directing it.
Apparently, she directed something called Nights and Weekends in 2008, but never heard of it. But yeah, she.
Oh, so it's not her first outing as being a director.
Right. Yeah, but it's like I mean, it's her first, obviously, hit. So, I thought it was her first outing, but I guess I'm wrong. IMDb knows all of,
That's true. But you know what? Del Toro is an incredibly imaginative filmmaker from, like, any of his works, like Pan's Labyrinth or Pacific Rim or Crimson Peak. Wasn't a big fan of Crimson Peak, but I'll still attest that had a very strong visual flair to it. So I think that the award is well deserved.
Okay.
Well deserved.
For costume design, we had nominees Beauty and the Beast, Darkest Hour, Shape of Water, Victoria and Abdul, and the winner was Phantom Thread. I said this on the podcast multiple times. If Phantom Thread did not win costume design, which is what the entire movie is about, we had an issue.
I agree.
I think that the costume designs for Shape of Water and Darkest Hour, they looked very plain. I didn't see Victoria and Abdul. I haven't seen anything from that movie. But Beauty and the Beast, the costume designs there were good too. But Phantom Thread, it was the dresses that were made and everything. They looked stunning.
If there is an award that Beauty and the Beast should have won, it's for best toy tie-in. Do you remember that Emma Stone Belle?
Yes,
toy?
the one that has like all forehead, no face.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
It was
I don't know
awful.
who made the decision about that, but I hope
they pushed so many of those out. And I think they cut them. But
yeah. Whew. It could be collector's items one day. Like if I ever run the Academy Awards, like I'm gonna replace all the statues with like little Emma Watsons. Emma Watson's from Beauty and the Beast. I don't know if I said Emma Stone earlier. I probably
it doesn't matter. We're talking about Beauty and the Beast. We know what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay.
We know which Emma. So cinematography now. This was one that people have been waiting for a long time. Shape of Water, Mudbound, Dunkirk, Darkest Hour, and the winner was Roger Deakins from Blade Runner 2049. The dude's been nominated 14 times. It's about time he got an Oscar.
Yeah. He's done some great work with, one of my favorite movies is The Big Lebowski, and I just think of that scene wherever Lebowski is or the dude is going through, like, all the legs through the bowling alley. And it's one of my favorite shots in the world, and, like, the fact that he wasn't even nominated for that is a travesty on its own, but the fact that he finally got it, I'm proud of you. Proud of you, Roger.
Roger. Yeah, I mean, definitely well deserved. I don't have really much else to say about that. I think the cinematography for all those movies were fine, but Blade Runner, it was more than well deserved and needed to happen a while ago. So, animated feature film. So we had Loving Vincent, Ferdinand, probably should have been in there. Breadwinner, Boss Baby, definitely should have been in there. And Coco was the winner. Everybody saw this one happening. Michael, who I typically have on the podcast, he always is up in arms whenever he wanted Loving Vincent to win.
Which I can understand that. Like, Loving Vincent looks like just an insanely made movie in terms of animation, and at least they had their recognition. I hope that more people are going to try and see Loving Vincent because of the Oscars, which is another reason why I saw Breadwinner. That's on Netflix. It's about an Afghanistan girl, like, trying to, like, provide for her family, and it's really good, really.
I heard that was going to... If anybody stole Coco's Oscar, it would have been Breadwinner. So, because Boss Baby and Ferdinand, I think they just threw them in there because there's no other animated features.
Except for the Lego Batman movie.
That one, yeah, that's a snub. Boss Baby should have been replaced by Lego Batman, but it is what it is. They really don't like those Lego movies.
They don't.
At the Oscars. But, I mean, it was well-deserved. Coco, it was my favorite film from last year, so.
It's my second favorite. Fun fact, Lee Unkrich, director of both Toy Story 3 and Coco, he retweeted the Toy Story video.
Oh,
I
yeah?
made back when I released it in 2015.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Where's the job at, though? You know, like, just message him, hey, listen, I see that you liked this. I can do more. You got a position available. I'll get your coffee.
Oh my god. I would get Lee Uncrich's coffee, and it would be perfect.
So, moving on to the acting now. So we have supporting actress. Nominees were Mary J. Blige for Mudbound, Leslie Manville for Phantom Thread, Laurie Metcalf for Lady Bird, Octavia Spencer for The Shape of Water, and the winner was Allison Janney for I, Tonya. I felt like this was a 2-horse race between Allison Janney and Laurie Metcalf. So, they both played really good moms. Allison Janney's evil mom just won. That's basically what I'm going to sum this up in.
Yeah, without like seeing I, Tonya, like I said, she feels very like she seems like a great character in terms of what you do for a movie. But Laurie Metcalf, am I pronouncing that correct? Metcalf.
Yeah.
Metcalf just had a very nuanced and just natural performance of like how mothers like talk to their children whenever you're like you hate or you don't you know how you love hate. You know how parents love hate their kids.
Sure.
Yeah, like I feel like she pulled it off like very realistically in Lady Bird. I also feel like Octavia Spencer, while she did give a good performance, gave the same performance that she gave for Figures and The Help, which is good. I feel like you could have put in Brooklyn Prince from the Florida Project in there, or even Holly Hunter from The Big Sick, who also gave a very, very good performance. But like, yeah, the Academy really loves Octavia.
They love Octavia. But, you know, I mean,
me too,
she's always good. She's always good, you know, but I don't know. I think that, you know, it was a tight race between those two at the end of it, and I liked Janney and I, Tonya. After I just finished Lady Bird yesterday. I hadn't yet finished it until yesterday, but after seeing Laurie Metcalf's performance, probably would have given the edge to her, but to each their own.
Okay.
Actor in supporting role now. The nominees are Willem Dafoe for The Florida Project, Woody Harrelson for 3 Billboards, Richard Jenkins for The Shape of Water, Christopher Plummer for All the Money in the World and How to Replace Kevin Spacey, and Sam Rockwell, the winner, for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. We talked about this on our predictions podcast that I put out a little bit ago with Michael, that Sam Rockwell plays just a generic Midwestern, and we were just like, man, we see somebody that everywhere we go, from where we're from. So maybe it's because of that we didn't care for it as much. We really wanted Willem Dafoe to win.
No, me too. I was rooting for him ever since like the predictions started coming out and Sam Rockwell started becoming the favorite among just the award circuit. I felt bad for Willem Dafoe because The Florida Project was my favorite movie of last year, and I think especially that soda scene. You remember whenever he escorts the dude who's like going to the kids table, and he like that's my favorite moment in The Florida Project because like he's such an unsung hero for this entire just community of people who are just down on their luck and very unfortunate, but like
right down the road from us too.
Exactly, literally like 5 minutes away from us. I wanted to go visit the Magic Castle so bad.
I think that I'm not saying that Sam Rockwell didn't pull out a great performance.
Absolutely.
I just think that Dafoe should have taken that award home. But again, it's a tight race. I think Woody Harrelson did a fantastic job. Jenkins did he did all right. I just feel like he was lost in the shuffle a little bit there with between Hawkins and Spencer.
I can see that.
And Michael Shannon, I don't know why he didn't get nominated for his villainous role in Shape of Water, but that is what it is. And Christopher Plummer probably shouldn't have been nominated, in my opinion.
Maybe that was like for how impressive it could be because
wow,
they did
he did it in 8 days.
Yeah, but good for Christopher Plummer.
Yeah.
Hope he's doing okay.
Yeah. Actress in a leading role. So we had Sally Hawkins for Shape of Water. We had Margot Robbie for I, Tonya. Saoirse Ronan for Lady Bird. Meryl Streep for The Post. And Frances McDormand for 3 Billboards. Outside Ebbing, Missouri was the winner. Frances took home that Oscar. She was the favorite. All the favorites took home these Oscars.
She gave a hell of a speech, though. Did you?
That was something.
Yeah.
Getting all the women to stand up, I was digging that. And she got the world talking. People were like, "What is inclusion writer?" And so people started looking it up, and and that's a good thing.
Frances McDormand, she's so badass.
She was like freaking out too. You could tell she was giddy, and she was like, "I'm not going to win the jet ski, but."
Oh yeah, that jet ski bit. That was a good one.
But yeah, I think I voted for Saoirse Ronan or Margot Robbie. I think I said Ronan because while Margot's always good, I feel like she does a lot of the same in this movie. So, and Meryl Streep just shouldn't even be in there.
She's like the favorite among the Oscars, so she'll always be there. Even if she's in Into the Woods, she's still going to be there.
Right. It's just, whatever. Whatever. But yeah, Frances McDormand got that win. Well deserved.
Best speech of the night, would you say?
Best speech?
I don't know. That or Jordan Peele?
Jordan Peele's speech I really, really liked. He was like, I stopped writing this 20 times and I just kept pushing through it. I'm just like, that's an inspirational speech. I wish more people would talk about how hard this crap is. And I like Gary Oldman's speech too, where he talks to his mom that's 99 years old.
Older than the Oscars.
Yeah, so...
wasn't it freaky how like similar like Gary Oldman and his wife look?
Yeah, I thought that too. I did. I
thought they were like brother and sister going to the Oscars, and they're like, "Oh no, it's my wife," and I'm like, "Are you what?"
So Gary Oldman won the leading actor roles. Now the nominees were Denzel Washington, Timothée Chalamet, Daniel Day-Lewis, and Daniel Kaluuya. A lot of people wanted Chalamet to win, but the dude's 22, 21, something like that. He has plenty of time.
That's true.
He was in 2 of the best pictures this last year.
He has a hell of an agent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No kidding.
I haven't seen Call Me By Your Name yet, but I'm sure he gives a great performance.
Yeah, I don't know either. I haven't... he does weird things with the peach that we talked about earlier. I don't want to get into that here. This is a PG podcast.
A peachy podcast?
PG, no, not peachy. Peachy Keen. So Daniel Day-Lewis, supposedly this is his last film. I don't believe that for a second. Daniel Kaluuya, I just don't think it matched Gary Oldman's performance. From what I've heard, I haven't seen Darkest Hour yet, but Denzel... Washington, I think he got nominated just based off of his. It was kind of like a reward for your body of work type thing. But Gary Oldman finally got his win. He's been in the business forever now.
Yeah.
So I mean, definitely deserves it. So Commissioner Gordon and Sirius Black now owns an Oscar. So
that's good to know.
Yeah. Now we're going to the grand finale here. Best Picture. I'm gonna have to take a breath for this one. It's gonna take a while to get through these 8 or 9 pictures. So, Best Picture nominees: Call Me by Your Name, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Get Out, Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, The Post, and the winner was Shape of Water. Oh, Three Billboards was also in there. They put that at the bottom for whatever reason, underneath the winner. But, yeah, Three Billboards was also in there. Whoops. Shape of Water won. I think that they could have narrowed this down to 5 movies if they really wanted it to. Because,
who would you have cut it down to?
So obviously Shape of Water, Three Billboards, maybe. Okay, so yeah, those two probably. Get Out and Lady Bird I would throw in there, and then
it would have to be either Call Me by Your Name or Dunkirk.
Yes, maybe. I haven't seen Phantom Thread, so yeah, I mean it would have to. I would probably put no. To be announced. I don't really have an answer. I mean,
anyway,
the rest
like,
I only care about the 4.
4.
Yeah, I only care about the 4 of them. So,
like, I saw all those movies and they're all great.
Yeah, I felt bad for the guy though because Del Toro. Del Toro took up all the time for the speech. I'm just like, you already got to do your speech. Why are you doing another speech?
But, like, he gave a good little thing for young and upcoming filmmakers. Like, the door's open, yada, yada, yada. It was a great speech. But then, like, that dude who tries to, like, put in his 2 cents and then is cut off, it's
awkward. We were 99% there and we messed up. Again.
My God. But
it wasn't as bad as the Moonlight situation.
Yeah, Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway, they looked nervous up there. And I'm like, I felt bad.
Why would you drag them out again?
As like, a form of redemption, maybe?
Maybe. But, now that nobody's now they just solved it with like a $1 piece of plastic. You just put the card on and they pick it up. I have it marked on there. This is the right one. But yeah, I really enjoyed the Oscars as a whole. I mean, kind of like we're in a closing thoughts time now. First off, what movie did you want to win Best Picture?
Best Picture? I wanted The Shape of Water to win.
Okay.
Like, that was I had a feeling that it would go to Three Billboards because it's been a favorite among award circuits recently. But I just love how odd The Shape of Water is, and the fact that a monster movie with a romantic subplot between a mute woman and a fish got nominated for Best Picture, and the fact that it's so well made, so beautifully like crafted, and like each like visual is done. A lot of the moments in the film could be a painting. And it was my favorite overall movie. So the fact that like it won it made me very happy.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I've gone record. I said Lady Bird and Get Out were my 2 favorites, but Shape of Water was a great movie. I have nothing bad to say about that. So closing thoughts on the whole Oscars. We had the montages that I want to talk about.
Yes.
So basically, they were just like, "Oh, well, great movie where I died, so we're gonna do a whole in memoriam in like every time we come back from commercial of." And I really enjoyed those montages. I hope they do more of those.
Yeah, me too. Same here. Especially, I love the one where it was just about filmmaking in general, and then I love the shout out they gave to the people in the military. They did that montage. I thought that was very, very like very. I'm trying to a better synonym for nice. I found it very like touching that they were willing to do that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you got to go through like because they did it for I think almost every like all the big categories, and I just loved every bit of it. It did show different, you saw superhero movies, you saw all these other things, and so they are showing that like, hey, yeah, we understand that the Oscars are not like they're not just for elitists. That's I think that's what the message was like. It's not just for these elitist groups. That's why they added in Logan for adapted screenplay, all this other stuff. I think that the entirety of it, it was very beautifully done. One of those things you get goosebumps while watching. The jet skis bit was a bit much.
Yeah.
Throughout the Oscars.
That one bit where they brought everybody, like those random celebrities into like the Wrinkle in Time like movie theater.
Yeah.
I like the bit from last year whenever they brought like a handful of regular people into the Oscars, but whenever you bring a couple of like big name celebrities into a theater and everybody starts screaming, it felt very hectic and like unorganized, and like it went farther out of hand than I think they were anticipating, because like I couldn't follow anything.
It was very strange.
The hot dog cannon.
Yeah, and you interrupted a movie.
Well, it was a sneak preview.
Oh, was it? I thought they were actually watching like the whole movie.
No, they like said, okay, we're gonna have like a sneak preview of probably what they have in like Walt Disney Presents.
Yeah.
And they just brought in Lin-Manuel Miranda, Gal Gadot, and Mark Hamill, and
whenever Mark Hamill introduces himself to Gal Gadot, I told Gigi to tweet this out with the GIF. I was like, "Oh, hi, Mark."
They should have invited Tommy Wiseau to the Oscars. I felt like this was...
Franco wasn't there, so...
Yeah, look, I felt like this... Okay, if Franco was going to be there, and like if these allegations didn't come out, I'm glad they did, but he would have definitely, I think, would have been like a runner for Best Actor, and then they would have brought Tommy Wiseau there. It would have been his only opportunity to go to the Oscars, and now it's gone.
Yeah. Well,
but maybe that's for the best.
I mean... Surely they could buy a ticket or something. I don't know. There's probably tickets to the Oscars, right?
Yeah, he's probably at like, I don't know, the wings of it, or like the bloody nose seats.
Yeah, they might actually have like security guards outside making sure Tom Wiseau isn't within like 100 feet of the building. But yeah, I mean, it was a good Oscars. I was thoroughly entertained. There was a lot of really good messages, a lot of very inspiring messages, not only to the women and the minorities throughout Hollywood, but they were reaching out to younger filmmakers, and they were like, hey, listen, your phone, it can make a movie. Go do it.
I also want to give a shout out to one of these other colleagues from UNT Short Film Club. She won the Visionary Filmmaking Contest.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So that was what that was like a Wrinkle in Time thing, wasn't it? Yeah, she was telling me about that.
She got to go to the premiere of A Wrinkle in Time and meet Oprah and Ava DuVay?
Is that her name?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I might be butchering the way she pronounced her name, but she got to go to the premiere, and she got a lot of money to finance her next film.
No kidding.
So that's amazing. Like I'm very proud of her.
Ava DuVernay?
Yes.
Probably butchering it. It's okay. She's not listening to this.
Oh. She's actually one of your most frequent listeners.
That would know. I do have a lot of listeners out in California for some reason, but congratulations to her, because that's an incredible accomplishment. So I mean, maybe one day we'll be standing up here at the big ceremony, capturing that little man, the little gold dude. But it's just... Did you ever go to Walt Disney Presents? They had the Oscars sitting out there.
Oh, yes I did.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. We did that last year. We didn't do it this past year, but we did it last year, and I was like, I loved that. It was like, oh man, a dream.
What do we got here?
But
yeah. One more thing I want to talk about was like the awkward... Some of the comedy was a little bit awkward, and I feel like that's just the way some award shows go. Maybe it's like a Jimmy Kimmel thing, but like, I don't know. Like with these award shows, like some of the moments can be a little bit awkward. Like when Lakeith Stanfield from Get Out like came on stage and did his like get out bit,
Yeah.
and then just stood there.
And he didn't know when to leave.
Yeah,
That was the thing. He just kept standing there. He was like, I was like, are we gonna do anything about that?
That's not planned. It's like you can tell, like he had no idea what was going to happen next.
Because he was just standing out there, and he slowly made his way backstage
Mm-hmm.
because he wasn't told when the bit would be over. Man, the whole
Like young Jimmy Kimmel thing.
that was awkward too, because like he took he literally brought the kid out, took the stick, and said, "Get out." No pun intended. I was just like, is this necessary?
Yeah.
And the jet ski bit, I feel like that's what ruined the end of the show. Because the producer didn't get to say his last words. Like, we could have, like, the show's already running 45 minutes over.
Mm-hmm.
We can give it another minute or two so this guy can say something.
Exactly.
But overall, I was entertained. Like, whenever Maya Rudolph came out.
With Tiffany Haddish?
Yeah, they did their
Yes, they had
skit.
it. They presented best animated films, correct?
Think so, yes.
Or was that-
They think it
No, that was the Star Wars cast who did the animated.
Was it?
Yeah, because Oscar Isaac said Viva Latin America. in
Oh,
Coco.
yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
I don't know what they did then.
They
Yeah,
were great though.
yeah. So they did that. J Law and who'd she come out with?
Oh, Jodie Foster.
Yeah, and you're just sitting there like, is Jennifer Lawrence really tall or is Jodie Foster really short?
And then they had like
Both?
that minor argument. They're like, here are the nominees. I was like, you're not supposed to say that. I wasn't supposed to say that. You didn't say that. It's like, then it cut off, and I'm like, what's going on?
I was like, is that an actual thing? I mean, I've never cared for Jennifer Lawrence, so I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. That was weird.
I didn't know what was a bit and what wasn't.
Yeah, the whole she I Tanya'd me. I'm like, I get it, but I'm not laughing. Yeah, it was a few awkward moments. A lot of politics were in there, which is fine. People get up in arms about it, but
Yeah.
who cares? Like there were a lot of Facebook people were like not watching the Oscars due to politics. I'm like, well, there's no point.
Yeah.
Like they're like, well, now the ratings went down. Ha ha ha. I'm like, it still has 26.5 million viewers.
Exactly.
That's more than that's all domestic. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's all domestic. So it's not like that's more than most of your weekly TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, whatever. But that is that's gonna do it for us here today. I would like to thank Zach for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
And from all of us here at Greenlit Flicks, we'll see you next time.